as good a time as any to start this thing. Wait, you do that and I'll do this. Because there's not enough of an intro on this intro. Welcome to
Stitches.
I'm Mark and this is not Zach. This is not Zach. This is Stitch Man, aka Mushmouth. So I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about feeling overwhelmed, because we started out this week pretty ahead, and then the last 2 days has just been us. We're
Catching up again.
Weeds. It happens.
Yeah, you know, curveballs.
Yeah, it's a good thing to talk about.
It's life.
I remember, like, at the beginning of the week when we were ahead, it was like, oh, we're ahead. Like, it feels so great to be ahead. And then all this work piled up.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing, and we got backed up on a bunch of stuff because boo-boos do happen, and then we have to make up for those little foibles. And we did. So I felt like it was a good reason to talk about this, because I think it's easy on the outside looking at a business that it's just some sort of well-oiled machine. At least I used to think so. And then I got involved in my business with Echelon Media, and then obviously helping Zach out. Unique challenges happen, and even I screwed things up earlier. And this was coming off of the end of that little in the weeds situation. So we were feeling good, and then I think I got a little arrogant and came out of it screwing up one more thing. So it happens. But
You ruined a shirt, a t-shirt, just a t-shirt. Stop beating yourself up.
still, it's like if it was like a plate of food at a restaurant, it'd be like, oh, my bad. But it does happen. And then, what did you do? Like, what did you end up doing yesterday? Because when I left, you had to. How long were you here for yesterday?
Till just before 10 o'clock.
And what time did you get in?
This morning?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday? Well, we had BNI yesterday morning.
Oh, yeah.
So I was up at like 6.
But you were here from 10 to 10, basically.
Well,
you were up since 6, but here at 10 to 10.
I was here
almost.
from just after BNI. So I'd say I got here at 9:15.
Okay. So definitely over 12 hours. Yeah.
For sure.
And even then.
I mean, that's daily life, though.
Yeah.
I live here, basically,
Yeah.
when I'm not at home.
Yeah. And then we had work, and when things are going good, it's just smooth. But when they're not, like yesterday, it's a lot of catching up. Mm-hmm. And it's a son of a bee, that's for sure.
It's the price of business.
Yeah.
Or cost of
happens.
business.
So, I mean, that's, how many times has that happened before?
All the time?
You get bogged down.
Every time I say I'm ahead.
Yeah. And then what do? Because I remember looking at
Keep on trucking.
basically. See, this is funny. The intro to this video is hilarious. But yesterday you were not a happy camper.
No.
You're just like,
In fact, when I got home, my wife looked at me and said, "You look angry." I said, "Yeah. Ever since I left you at lunch, it just kind of snowballed from there."
and we thought we were actually getting out of it, which is the funny thing. Like, we were actually like, oh, we're getting out of the weeds finally, because we're gonna wrap all this stuff up, and no, just kept stacking on top of each other. I remember thinking yesterday too at some point, that's Jerry Rogers.
Jerry Rogers.
Jerry Rogers.
Let's talk to Jerry Rogers. Say it with
please.
stitches.
So just as a reminder, this is a live and working shop. So we take calls and we have to address the work stuff. We do get silly from time to time. It helps to break up the monotony and the chaos. And honestly, that's probably one bit of knowledge or wisdom, if we can call it that I've probably seen working in this shop and working in my own little deal with Echelon Media, where bringing up the monotony with a little bit of fun helps a ton to get out of the BS, because you will get in the weeds.
I'm back again.
So anyways, you were saying it's happened before.
So yeah, it's happened again. You got to keep on moving.
Yep.
Shaking and moving,
Yeah.
moving and a shaking.
And you try to be cool about it too, because you have to.
Well, and the other thing is, we're dealing with machines here. And machines, as I'd say inanimate, but they move all the time, they don't have a human characteristic about them, but somehow they have a mind of their own. So even when things have been moving so smoothly, all of a sudden there'll just be that day where like the embroidery machines will start thread breaking like crazy. And sometimes it's just because they've been used so much. Sometimes it's because maintenance got a little slack on the machine, so it leads to those issues. But it's, understanding that these things are just a part of the business and to carry on with whatever it throws at you.
Yeah. Was it ever really bad at the very beginning? Because when you started, you were just learning everything. And so you're learning everything, but you still had customers to deal with, right?
Well, when I first started, I didn't know the maintenance that went into these machines. Like, when I finally learned how to maintain them, I opened them up and saw that to some degree they were fairly neglected. Which had led to issues that I've always heard about that happened in the past. It was purely because they weren't getting the maintenance they needed. Ever since then, I've been pretty regular about keeping up with the maintenance. I know I yell at you a few times for not maintaining
Not
them.
keeping up with it, yeah.
Yeah. Not that I really yell at you.
No.
Yelling.
Yeah. I'm yelling.
He's afraid.
I'm yelling.
He's afraid.
Don't say anything.
And double checking things and triple checking things. Like this morning's snafu with the t-shirt
Yeah.
came from you not double checking just to make sure
Yeah.
nothing was in the way.
I got cocky because I thought, hey, things were moving again.
And I do it too, the pro that I am, and that's the other thing. The other pros that I've learned from getting into this business, from the trade shows that I've gone to and all that, they all will say, if you're going to make the mistake, we've already made it. And that's the same thing I pass on to anybody who comes in here to help out on the machines or anything else is mistakes are going to happen. You just have to own up to them and then move on to the next thing or correct the issue however you can.
Yeah. And they're not anything to be dramatic about. However much the shirt costs, I'm still going to feel lousy because, well, it slows down production, it ties up when we can deliver the product, and that's just the right thing to feel when this is for people. So obviously you're gonna feel bad, and obviously it's gonna, get you all hung up when things slow down, because now, as things start to pile up, you're having to deal with people's time. But I think with what you said there, whether it's maintenance or understanding that people who are pros or even more pros than you are still have to deal with this stuff, is that it's just part of the process and you just got to follow through with the process. Because, you can cry about it, but you still got to stop, move on to the next thing, and then order a replacement shirt or change out the needles or re-thread or like run the thread through the machine, which I hate. But it happens. And I have a mild anxiety attack every time that happens and I can't get the thing through all the way. These things are particularly a pain in the ass when you have to go through these tubes. Ugh.
Spiral tubes.
But at some point,
spiraling the whole way through.
Yeah, at some point it's just going to become common and you just got to press on through, because it's not like you can just like throw your hands up, like sit down on the floor and have a tantrum and stop.
But I wanna!
You made a good point about the machines. I also realized that too with the shirts, especially this particular order. There's a lot of shirts here. With more volume, it's just going to happen. At some point, you're going to screw up. At some point, you're just going to have to deal with it and move on. So if you're going to build a business and it's going to last you 5, 10 years, however long, maybe like a lifetime, you're gonna have to deal with stuff breaking or stuff falling apart and be okay with it. And it doesn't change the fact that you're gonna be grumpy. Because I felt it yesterday, and then I felt when you were sort of like in it, and that's when you said, hey, like you need to like really use 2 machines and like pick it up a little bit. But that's all you do.
Pick it up.
And you can have all the anxiety attacks in the world, but it doesn't make things go any faster, and you're just gonna have to follow through anyway.
Well, and the other thing is not to continue harping on it, like we touched upon.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday was yesterday. Today,
We got new stuff to deal with.
and I wasn't in a crappy mood. I didn't sit here and complain about yesterday,
Dancing helps.
other than just letting you know what occurred after you left.
Yeah, being here till 10.
Yeah. Just moving on.
Yeah. So in a way, this is kind of a cautionary tale, and a way of just letting you know if you're either in business already and you can relate, or if you're starting a business, or if you're in some sort of creative endeavor. Like, this is just what it takes. You have to kind of power through, and it's something I have to embrace. I've had the luxury to sort of pull back a little bit from my deal with Echelon Media, because I've been helping here a ton. But as I go back into it, I get a bit of hesitation and anxiety, because it's like, oh God, like all this stuff that comes with all the editing photos or editing videos. But it's just, I made that. I created that such like circumstance, so I just got to roll with it. You got anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, so just chill. So understand that in the process of a business or whatever creative endeavor, stuff will happen. Things will go smoothly, and then they won't. You'll get bogged down, and you'll just have to keep going through the weeds, keep cutting through, keep dealing with it, just keep swimming forward. And, have a little dance party every now and then. Because it's just one day out of however long you decide this business is going to last.
Forever.
Anyways, if you dug this, and you probably saw this on live, make sure that you like or thumbs up this video. If you have any comments, questions, thoughts, concerns, Zach is more than willing to take them. We've been getting some questions. We've been getting a lot of questions from different places, people who are interested in some of the finer points of running and what is this, like custom apparel, custom embroidery
Custom
business?
apparel decoration.
Custom apparel decoration business. We had some people asking about that.
Pricing,
more
cost
than open to have
concerns.
discussions about like actually running and maintaining a business, because you've been doing this for how long?
Going into 5 years.
And it's a 6-figure business. We joke about that, but it actually is a 6-figure business. It doesn't look like it from the outside. I mean, even just, it doesn't look like it from what we're doing, but it is a 6-figure business. And it's continually growing. And it's just a process. And we're developing new stuff.
And I did it without being a major production house.
Nope. Or taking on a ton of debt. Like, that's not a necessity. So it's doable. Yeah, so questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, definitely leave those in the comment section. Either like the Say It With Stitches page, or actually, if you're on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. And we do this weekly, so you get a little bit of a little taste of the shop, a little bit of our ridiculousness. And I think that's
And
it.
keep having fun. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
This is my business. Ah. Don't make it miserable for yourself.
and get a water bottle. And maybe an Asian.
And squirt them. Keep them in line.
That'll teach you.